a menu of 50 possible policy actions, some of which are possible in an independent Scotland, some of which are possible in a devolved Scotland. So what I'm going to do, with your permission, and you don't have to take part, but it's very much like if you would. Gerry doesn't know we're going to do this. I'm going to pass the book from this end, and I'm going to ask people from that end to just call out any number between 1 and 50, and the person who has the book in their hand will then read that one out, and we'll just see what sensible policies we get for the future of Scotland. So, if you wouldn't mind, that's where we start. Just there, and can you give me a number between 1 and 50?
37.
I'm sorry, can somebody just time this when 5 minutes is up, ring a bell, or smash the window, or do something? Okay? Well, let's smash the window.
Number 37. Self-directed support for those who need social care is now a right. The principle should be extended to community nursing, employability support services, post-school services, ex-offender services, and anywhere else in public life where people can exercise real control over the services they use.
Okay, and the next number, please. 15. 15.
A citizen's income is created, which is an unconditional, non-withdrawable income payable to each individual as a right of citizenship.
Yeah, I'll go for that. Lady over there?
2.
2.
Change the Scottish Parliament electoral system from the additional member system with its proposed list to either a single transferable vote or lists.
Over there?
17. All enterprises, whether public, private, or voluntary, employing more than 100 people, should once a year have to publicly report the average rewards, including bonuses, stock options, and any other related income. This would be cost neutral as those organisations which were more ethical and socially concerned could attract more business and custom.
Number 5.
Establish a second chamber elected on single transferable vote open list.
Okay, get to there.
Number 24.
A central bank under democratic control.
That's easy. 15. How are we doing to time?
150. 150.
Oh, 50.
An oil fund for the mine to be established based on 1% of the oil fund and divided between social justice at home and conflict resolution abroad. This will follow the example of the Norwegian oil fund, which has earmarked a small percentage for international conflict resolution and play a constructive role in Tamil Tiger, Sri Lanka civil war.
You got that one, Gerry?
9. Limit the number of terms that local councillors are allowed to serve on local councils to a maximum of 2 terms. What's a term? What is it?
Numero 1.
Why just councillors, one MPs?
Every Scottish citizen should have the opportunity to contribute to and help shape a new Scottish constitution. This should not be done by the time-old gathering of the great and the good, invoking the people at a constitutional convention. It should instead directly involve the people and learn from the new constitutionalism breaking out around the world. 41.
All government legislation and policies to have a built-in obsolescence clause. This will state that when the law or policy achieves its results, that the relevant professional groups to which the legislation pertains is reviewed, are not automatically continued and in places abolished. Legislation should recognise that professions have lifespans. There should be time called on the continual cycle of the professional classes.
Number 5. I'll put that. 49.
The National Arts and Cultural Organisation, not to see the arts as an extension of economic policy, but as a good in themselves. The arts should not be taken as a branch of government policy, but should have artists and practitioners at their heart. Really the point that the creators got.
Right, last one. Can you give me a number? Choose a number, please.
8.
8.
Increase the number of local councils from the current 32 based on 163,200 people per local council to closer to the European Union average of 5,630 people, depending on demand and interest.
Okay, well, thanks very much. Do you want to just say something about how that came about?
Yeah, I mean, well, firstly, what I said to you earlier was when I wrote this book, I was inspired by the Irish writer Fintan O'Toole, who wrote Fortresses, because of that. And he wrote 2 brilliant books on the Irish crafts, Ship of Fools and Enough is Enough. And so in his tour de force, kind of demolition of Irish mythologies, I can't remember which way around the books were, off the top of my head. Ship of Fools was first. And in one of the 2, he had a list of 50 things about how Ireland could become basically a modern country, a democracy and a republic. Because he believed Ireland actually was a myth, it was a republic, it never become a republic or a democracy. And I thought, that's what an inspiring idea that is, because from all the general critique you do and throwing up of ideas, it's good to be specific. So I thought, rather than do it myself, because I quickly jotted down, I think 20 or 25 of them, but I thought it would be good to crowdsource it. So I went to 60 people, well, actually went to 80 people, and in the time, 60 replied, I asked for two ideas from each person, some of them maybe 3, because people are always, people. And so I ended up with a list of 150 on my cutting floor, and I just made it into a list that I subjectively made. I gave everyone the guarantee of anonymity, so people could be as radical, creative, frivolous as they like. And the things I like in it, you see, are actually the human ones that no one really got to. They're really, really human, because life isn't just about institutions and structures. It's about people. I'm just sounds obvious, but the way politics is often forgets is so. Number 34, every child when they start primary school is automatically enrolled in their local library. I would love that. I think that's great. There's also one, number 47, a community garden in every primary school. Urban wastelands should be cultivated. Where no land is available, householders could donate their gardens for reduction in council tax. So I like those sort of human things as well. And one of the points I'm trying to get to here, which is simple and complex at the same time, is political ideas are not difficult to articulate. And in fact, it's not difficult in a place like Scotland for a bad idea to gain momentum quite quickly and actually become the mantra. Look, the poll tax, etc., etc. Because the poll tax came from Scotland. The idea of the poll tax came from Scotland, and it was imposed on us eventually, but it actually came from right-wing thinkers in Scotland. My point from that is that what needs to happen is you need to have political will, political mobilisation, political muscle. So at this historic moment where there is this explosion of ideas, an explosion of groups, which I feel honoured to be part of and work with people, those are the issues we need to address: political will, political mobilisation, and muscle. Because otherwise, the system has a self-perpetuating, cycle. Governments govern, public agencies create facts on the ground, but we need to think about how we do political change, and there's lots of great ideas. So that's why I did it. It's also a little bit about what dreaming means. It's in dreaming in the title, Caledonian Dreaming. It's a positive, but dreaming has to involve doing and creating as well.
Okay, so now it's over to you. Comments, questions, anything you like, really. And do you think any of those numbers that were read out were a good idea, bad idea? Yeah.